Welcome to Tinseltown Twists and True Crime Shockers, where the glitz and glamour of Hollywood meet the chilling intrigue of true crime. I'm your host, and on this channel, we're going to take you on an exhilarating journey through the heart of Tinseltown like you've never seen before. Would you believe that an inscription on a tombstone could inspire a hit song that would propel a young man into a life of music and later infamy? This is the story of Phil Spector, the iconic record producer who revolutionized the music industry only to fall from grace in the most tragic way. Spector was born Harvey Phillip Spector on December 26, 1939 in New York City. When Spector was 9 years old, his father committed suicide. His grieving family moved to Los Angeles in 1953. Spector attended Fairfax High School, where he learned how to play the guitar and started writing songs. During his time at Fairfax, he met fellow students Marshall Lieb, Harvey Goldstein, and Annette Kleinbard. Together they formed the music group The Teddy Bears and had a #1 hit in the United States and the United Kingdom with "To Know Him Is to Love Him." The title of the song was taken from the inscription on Spector's father's grave. The Teddy Bears seemed destined for fame, but their next single, I Don't Need You Anymore, only reached number 91 on the charts. Preceding singles proved to be even less successful, and the band split up in 1959. After the group went their separate ways, Spector drifted around a little, then returned to Los Angeles and re-entered the record business to concentrate on producing commercial success. With the help of independent producers Lester Sill and Lee Hazelwood, Spector went to New York and worked with hitmakers Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. He became a staff producer for Dune Records, where he produced a string of hits and became an industry sensation. In 1961, Spector and Still formed their own label, Phillies Records. The partners signed on the group The Crystals, whose first single, There's No Other Like My Baby, made it to number 20 on the Billboard chart. Their next release, Uptown, hit number 13. Advertisement, continue reading below. By the age of 21, Spector was a millionaire who was responsible for producing 20 consecutive smash hits. During this time, he started to work on his wall of sound technique in earnest. The wall approach to production involved a process of overdubbing scores of musicians to make a full sound. The effect created a roar, which Spector described as the Wagnerian approach to rock and roll. This style served to make Spector even more famous in the music industry, and many iconic artists would begin imitating this technique in future years, including the Beach Boys and Bruce Springsteen. Seclusion. But life wasn't unfolding exactly as Spector had hoped. In 1966, he produced Ike and Tina Turner's single River Deep Mountain High. Spector considered it his greatest production to date. While it placed at number 3 on the UK pop charts, it peaked at number 88 in the US Embittered. Spector went into seclusion for 2 years, during which time there were reports of strange, near-psychotic behavior. He did very little for the rest of the 1960s, collaboration with the Beatles. In 1969, Spector returned to work after he was asked to produce George Harrison and John Lennon's solo albums. After successful results, he was asked to turn a series of the Beatles' recording sessions into a marketable album. The resulting work, Let It Be, topped both the US and UK charts and yielded the #1 single, The Long and Winding Road. For the next several years, Spector continued to produce successful solo albums for Lennon and Harrison. But as the 1970s progressed, Spector's behavior vacillated between bizarre and reclusive. After several months of tension between Spector and several members of the Beatles, the two parted company. In spite of his bizarre behavior, Spector was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1989. He went on to write and produce music until 2003, when he was arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of actress Clarkson. After a panicked 911 call from Spector's driver, police discovered Clarkson's body at the producer's mansion in Alhambra, California. She had been shot dead with a gunshot wound through the roof of her mouth. On November 20th, 2003, Spector was indicted for Clarkson's murder. Trials and murder conviction. A year later, Spector was ordered to stand trial in Los Angeles. During the proceedings, Spector would arrive at court wearing various wigs, which became a hot topic on internet blogs. The case itself came to a head on September 26, 2007, but jurors could not reach a definite verdict. The murder case was declared a mistrial. Proceedings for a murder retrial began in October 2008, and Spector was found guilty of second-degree murder in 2009. He was sentenced to 19 years in North Kern State Prison in California. He was also ordered to pay $17,000 to Donna Clarkson, Clarkson's mother, for funeral expenses. Throughout his incarceration, Spector has not been allowed to wear any type of wig. Spector's innovative recording techniques and the wall of sound, a dense, layered, and reverberant sound, became his trademark. He produced hits for groups like the Ronettes and the Crystals, and later collaborated with the Beatles on Let It Be, and produced John Lennon's solo work, including Imagine. But Spector's life took a dark turn on February 3, 2003, when actress Lana Clarkson was found dead in his mansion in Alhambra, California. Spector initially told the police that Clarkson's death was an accidental suicide, but the autopsy revealed a gunshot wound to the mouth. There was no conclusive evidence that she had fired the gun herself. Spector was charged with her death. His trial began in 2007 and was marked by controversy and media attention. The prosecution argued that Spector, known for his volatile behavior and history of threatening people with guns, had shot Clarkson. The defense claimed that Clarkson's death was a suicide. The first trial ended in a hung jury in 2007, but a retrial in 2009 found Spector guilty of second-degree murder. In May 2009, he was sentenced to 19 years to life in prison. Spector's trial and conviction marked a dramatic fall from grace for a man once revered as a genius in the music industry. His story is often cited as an example of the dark side of fame in the music business. Spector passed away on January 16, 2024, at the age of 81. His daughter Nicole attributed his death to complications from COVID-19, with which he was diagnosed in December 2020. From the heights of musical innovation to the depths of a murder conviction, Phil Spector's life was as complex and layered as the wall of sound he created. His legacy, a mix of musical genius and personal tragedy, continues to resonate in the world of music and beyond. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.